Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. I'm Han, and today plant diary is Begonia maculata. This is Begonia maculata plant that I've been growing from a long time ago. Like, I don't even remember since when did I start to be growing this one, honestly. Compared to the time that I've been growing this one, it's kind of small. Only the reason is because I've been growing this one pretty much good size, like about pretty much similar size with right now. But then there was a time that I've been going through some things. At the time I really couldn't carry this plant. Since I put this plant in the corner somewhere, I really couldn't check properly, and also at the same time when I see this plant from in a distance, because this plant already has a pretty dark green foliage, so I really couldn't see properly this plant is getting damaged and getting worse and worse. Even though this plant is reacting very sensitively, reacting very fast, their reaction when they're not happy on the environment. So eventually my begonia plant from this to become like that. I mean, when I see the plant, the symptom, it looks like it's being stressed and lost the foliage by dryness, not instead of rotting. So I thought it's gonna be able to recover these plants. So that's why I decided to give a hard trim. I have been take care of it growing and then staking, training, and now become like this again. Honestly, like recovering this plant was, I would say, pretty easy. Like, even though some begonia is kind of tricky to take care of it about the environment and stuff, but this begonia maculata is pretty easy to grow and also a little hardy as far as it's pretty good condition. It's growing back in normal condition. So it was pretty okay to recovering this plant. But then now, since this begonia plant is like forming, the root is very similar with the spring onion, that root, very tiny, very thin, and then also takes so much long time to fill up the pot and required to be repotted. So with that reason, even though I have been growing quite a while in this same pot, I strongly believe that still doesn't really need to be repotted. But also at the same time, because the leaf is growing and growing and then become like overfull. From in this stage, I already kind of believe that finished the experiment of recovering begonia plants. So right now I'm thinking to do another experiment, which is trying to make the stem thicker and then make the plant itself a little bit stronger. So I want to make it a little bit more structure wise, make it like a tree shape with this begonia plant, even though I don't think it's gonna be very easy. So with that reason, in this video I'm gonna remove two main big stems to make it a little bit of give more space, remove some bottom foliages on the remaining one, trying to make the stem a little bit more bigger. Then let's start. This one. So now it has only two left. This is, I'm not sure it's gonna be same rules gonna apply on indoor plant as well, but when I used to work as a gardener and landscaper, whenever we trim the plant, we were trying to trim like in a triangle shape. On the top area is a little bit more sharper, and at the bottom is a little bit more wider. The reason is because in that way, when the sun is hitting the plant, even with the bottom foliage can get enough sufficient sunlight. In that way, the bottom foliage still can survive, and then eventually the plant is growing properly. So with the same logic, I thought if the foliage is with right now, when there is so much leaves, and then if they're not getting enough sufficient sunlight, eventually they're gonna fall. And then instead of like screwing up everything, it's better to just get rid of the big two stem, which wasn't really growing from the main stem. So I just removed them on. And then honestly, if I want to just keep growing like that, maybe I just can just constantly growing like this. But what I want to do is I want to kind of, with this plant, because I already have been growing begonia plant like several times, and then I kind of bored of growing as normal usual, even though it's gonna be look bad. But our intention is remove some bottom foliage, stimulating to make it a little more thicker and stronger. In that way, when I trim on top, it can generate the new shoot on top, and then it can support the weight. So on here, let me try some stupid things. Let me just remove some bottom foliage. Like this. Compared to earlier bottom, it's already like has only a few. Very less foliage. So now what's gonna be happening is like when the plant root is absorbing the nutrition and water from the bark, because this stem doesn't need to distribute any nutrition on the foliage until that section. So what I'm guessing is this area is gonna be a little bit more get thicker and stronger, and then maybe it will help it to make it a little more grow faster, a little bit more grow taller. And then when it's a little bit more rich taller, then I will just try to top up. In that way, it can encourage the new shoot on the bottom, so it can make it like a little more longer, a lot of stems. So yeah, since this is an experiment, I'm not sure it's gonna be really work or not. And then even if it's not working properly, it's fine. If I cut on the top stem, I know that it's very encouraged to new bud and the new shoots coming up from the bottom again. And then I know how to make it bushier again. So I'm not really worrying about too much, but I'm just wishing. I just want to, with this experiment, I just want to figure out, is it really gonna be rooted? Is it really gonna be affected the stem to be make it thicker and then kind of looks like become branch like a tree trunk? But of course I'm not really sure about it right now. Maybe we will see. We will figure out very soon. And on the other end, with this one, what I want to another experiment is actually with these things. Actually, we can do propagation with each node. If we cut between the node, we can generate one plant each. And with that one, actually, I already have an experiment earlier with this video, through this video, which was I was explaining about the begonia, and then on there I was cutting on each node and then trying to propagate in water propagation. And then the result was it was absorptive rooting properly, and then we transferred the soil, and then I got some small begonia plants as well. But this time, what I want to do is instead of that each node, I just want to propagate as it is. I'm just gonna put in the water until about that stem, that node, and then trying to root from there, and then want to check, is it really, without damaging much foliage, am I able to propagate as it is? I just never done that one before too, so this time with this video I just want to experiment. So I'll just remove a couple of bottom foliage, like 4 of them maybe, like that. To help it a little bit more straighten up, I just put the stake to make it a little bit more straight shape. This. All preparation is finished. Like I just used the wooden chopstick to make it a little bit more trained to make it straight. And then all I do is just finding a little long jar and then put in there and then fill up with water. But just before putting the water, I will try to make sure to leave it for a while, probably for about 1 to 2 hours until it settles enough. And then once it's being dry enough, then I will just try to put in a water jar and fill up the water. And then if it's really rooted properly, and if I just transfer in the soil, then each of them is gonna have a already pretty good form of plant. So yes, that's pretty much everything for today's video. So since I just trying to experiment with my recovered begonia, which is trying to make the stem a little more thicker and then trying to make it a little tree shape later on, and trying to use with a cutting with propagation with a to make it individual plant straight. Then thank you for watching, and for the propagating video I will just update on my Instagram with a short video, and also if once it's being updated I will update on the YouTube short video as well. Thank you for watching, and if you want to check my update and if you want to check how my plans progress, you can subscribe my YouTube channel or follow my Instagram as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.